In the last video, I talked about endocrine disruptors and what they're doing to our fertility and testosterone, and kind of the categories of endocrine disruptors that are in our kind of everyday environment. So in this video, I'm going to go into more depth as to where we're going to find them and where they are, that in your house, pretty much kitchen, toiletries and stuff, and what you need to do to avoid them, and where the main ones are. And just starting out, coffee. So this is actually black coffee. My Ninja coffee machine, I used to always use the coffee machine to make my coffee, and I realised there's loads of plastic pipes inside the coffee machine, and obviously hot water going through plastic pipes is not good. That's releasing all the chemicals, and I was completely unaware. I didn't really know about that. So I changed it, and now I use a French press. Use a metal French press, or a glass one would be good. So that way you're not using any plastic, you're not using any plastic utensils or stuff to like brew the coffee with. Another one actually, kettles. For years in our family home, we actually had a plastic kettle. The whole inside, the kettle was all plastic, the whole inside was plastic. So we were boiling water in a plastic kettle every day, multiple times a day. God knows how much, how many particles of plastic were being leached into our water to make tea and stuff. So it's crazy, it's everywhere. So let's look at utensils in the kitchen. Chopping boards is a big one. There's no reason to have a plastic chopping board. You look at a plastic chopping board that's been used for months and it's got score marks in it, and you can see every time someone uses a plastic chopping board, if you scrape it gently, plastics are getting shaved off it right into your food. So just throw away the plastic chopping boards, replace it with a wooden chopping board. There's no need to have a plastic chopping board. It's pointless. I don't understand why they even made them. Wood's perfectly fine. Also, plastic utensils like spatulas, black kind of spatulas, they all release chemicals into the food when they're heated up. So I've got some notes here. So plastic, cling film. Rather than using cling film, use foil. So just stay away from cling film. Again, it's just anything that's plastic, even if it says BPA free, just try and avoid it. Food containers, plastic Tupperware, replace the plastic Tupperware, and do not heat the plastic Tupperware up in the microwave. Replace it with glass Tupperware or ceramic. There's no need to have plastic Tupperware. Dr. Shana Swan, who's kind of one of the lead researchers in endocrine disrupting chemicals and how they're impacting humans. She's on the Andrew Huberman podcast and stuff. She emphasises never, ever, ever microwave plastic. Even not when it says it's microwavable plastic, all that means is it's not going to melt, but the phthalates aren't bound to the plastic. They release and go into the food. You can watch Shana Swan's podcast with Andrew Huberman. She goes into depth on that there. So replace all of your Tupperware with glass or ceramic Tupperware. Easy thing to do. Replace all of it, and that's that. That's what you got to do. Now another one: canned foods like canned soup, canned beans. They all have BPA lines to the inside of these tins. So anytime you're crack open a tin of soup and cook it, you've got BPA in there, which isn't good. So try and avoid using canned food, and that might be hard. And for example, M&S soup, it comes in the plastic tubs. Just make sure you at least remove it from the plastic tub and heat it up in a pan, rather than put the whole plastic soup tub in the microwave, because it even says on the back of the thing that careful with heating up in the microwave, because the plastic will become bendy and a bit more kind of will become soft, and clearly it's being like slowly melted and heated up, and it's all going into the food. So that's horrible. Coffee cups and lids alarm with BPA as well. Unfortunately, when you get a coffee cup in a shop, the lid is BPA, and the apparently actually the cup as well is BPA, and you've got hot liquid in there. It's going to leach into the hot liquid. Plastic straws. You know, trying to avoid plastic straws. Pretty much try and limit your plastic exposure in you know, kitchen, especially because it's when it's getting into the food. So do your best to remove that. So that's like the kind of plastic side of things. And now there's obviously non-stick pans, air fryers. You know, they scratch easily. One scratch, like I said in the last video, one scratch in a non-stick pan can release thousands of particles of chemicals into the food. So try and replace your pans with either cast iron or stainless steel. It's a bit harder to clean, but there's ways to do it. And you know, if it means lowering your exposure to these chemicals, I think it's worth it. So we've got phthalates, PHTHALATES, very weird spelling, but it's added to fragrances. Anytime you can smell a fragrance, you're most likely exposing yourself to phthalates. And I know for all you fragrance lovers, me included, that's not very good news that, you know, your favorite fragrance might be poisoning you and making your testicles smaller. But I mean, you know, really we should be avoiding it, or at least maybe try and spray it on clothing and not your skin, because your body's going to absorb it all. So just look out for shampoo and like conditioner. Make sure it's paraben free, and like the deodorant, you can have like salt deodorant's a good alternative to like normal deodorant that's going to have all the chemicals in it. Try and look for stuff that's fragrance free. You know, like you don't want heavy fragrances and stuff, because that is going to be carrying these chemicals. Right, I think I'll leave it at that for the household items. If more come to me, I'll make another video on it, but stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to talk more about pesticides and food contamination. So a lot of these things that I've mentioned are part of how I raise my testosterone from 569 to 770 nanograms per decilitre, and it's probably going to be higher than that now. I haven't checked it in a while. So if you want my full testosterone blueprint, click the top link in the description. I've got a lot of things in that. That's everything I use to raise my testosterone by about 35%. So there's some good stuff in there. Check that out.